From leaping over babies in Spain to smashing coconuts on your head in India, the world is full of traditions that will leave you stunned, amazed, or just plain confused. In today's video, we're taking a wild journey around the globe to explore 10 of the most unusual customs and rituals you've probably never heard of. Some are heartwarming, some are chaotic, and a few might just make you rethink your next vacation plans. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into the world's strangest celebrations. La Tomatina, Buñol, Spain, the giant tomato battle. La Tomatina is an annual festival in Buñol, Valencia, where thousands of people throw over 100 metric tons of ripe tomatoes at each other purely for fun. The tradition began in 1945 when a frustrated participant in the town's festival parade knocked over a vegetable stand, and others joined in hurling tomatoes. The next year, local youths deliberately repeated the food fight, and although authorities briefly banned it in the 1950s, public protest and a satirical tomato burial parade led to its reinstatement. Today, the event, last Wednesday of August, is officially sanctioned and attracts international visitors. La Tomatina has no religious meaning. It's simply a massive community food fight that symbolizes local identity and tourist exuberance. Aadi Perukku coconut ritual, Tamil Nadu, India, breaking coconuts for blessings. In the state of Tamil Nadu, South India, the Aadi Perukku festival, honoring the monsoon and fertility, includes a startling custom. Volunteer devotees allow priests to smash coconuts on their heads. At the Mahalakshmi temple in Adambakam, for example, a priest holds a devotee's head while another strikes a coconut against it. Participants believe this ritual breaks free from your past, a symbolic release of sins or burdens, and is a way of surrendering oneself to God. Legend even ties the practice to Lord Shiva. Since the three eyes of a coconut resemble Shiva's third eye, devotees once began breaking coconuts on their heads to attract his attention, and Shiva reportedly fulfilled their prayers. The ceremony can cause cuts and swelling, but temple helpers immediately treat any wounds with sacred ash, vibhuti, or turmeric. Although human rights groups have questioned it, local authorities allow the practice, viewing it as a protected cultural right. In contemporary society, the ordeal still demonstrates personal devotion and communal faith during the Aadi month, even as its dramatic nature makes headlines and draws onlookers. Famadihana, Madagascar, turning of the bones ceremony. Among the Merina and other highland peoples of Madagascar, Famadihana, turning of the bones, is a multi-day funerary festival to honor ancestors. About every 5 to 7 years, families exhume the skeletons of deceased relatives from their family tombs. They unwrap the wrapped bodies, clean the bones, and redress the remains in fresh silk shrouds, often newly purchased. These ritual remains are then paraded through the village amid music, dancing, and feasting. Participants drink rum, sing, and even dance with the reclothed bones held aloft or carried on chairs. The belief is that properly caring for ancestors keeps their spirits content. As one researcher notes, the ceremony appeases the ancestors and ensures their continued blessings on the living. After the celebration, the bones are returned to the crypt with offerings of food, drink, and money, and the tomb is sealed until the next cycle. In modern Madagascar, Famadihana is still practiced, especially in rural areas, as a family reunion and affirmation of lineage, even though it has declined somewhat due to cost and Christianization. El Colacho, Castrillo de Murcia, Spain, Baby Jumping Festival. El Colacho is a peculiar Spanish folk ritual held each June in Castrillo de Murcia. Newly born infants from the past year are laid on mattresses on the village street. Dressed as the devil and wearing bright masks and cloth, costumed men run through the crowd, whipping onlookers and creating chaos. Finally, they leap over the infants lying on the ground. According to local belief, when the devils jump over the babies, they symbolically absorb the children's sins and protect them from future disease. After the jumps, the babies are lifted up and showered with rose petals for purification before being returned to their parents. This dramatic act is part of the Corpus Christi festival and dates back to the 1620s, blending Catholic and older pagan elements. The masked figures embody both evil and the community's triumph over it. Though some church leaders frown on it, the tradition persists, even attracting families from outside the village to have their infants baptized by this leap of faith. Monkey Buffet Festival, Lopburi, Thailand. Feast for macaque monkeys. In Lopburi Province, Thailand, locals stage an annual Monkey Buffet Festival each November as a way to honor and feed the town's large population of crab-eating macaque monkeys. During the festival, organizers lavish tables around the ancient Khmer temple with over 2 tons of fruits, vegetables, and other treats, a banquet for hundreds of wild monkeys. The custom is rooted in a mix of Buddhist and Hindu beliefs. Monkeys are regarded as sacred, linked to the monkey god Hanuman from the Ramayana epic, and feeding them is thought to bring good luck and show gratitude for their presence. The event opens with dance and music, and then the macaques are invited to descend and gorge on the offerings. Young and old scamper amid the fruit, entertaining crowds of tourists. While today it is largely a media spectacle, the monkey buffet highlights the unique cultural bond between the community and its monkeys. A festive acknowledgement of nature's role in local spirituality and economy. Hadaka Matsuri, Japan. Naked purification festivals. Japan celebrates several naked festivals, the Hadaka Matsuri, each year, most famously the Konomiya Hadaka Matsuri in Aichi Prefecture. During these winter ceremonies, often around New Year's or Lunar New Year, thousands of men, and sometimes youths, dress only in a white fundoshi loincloth, and often hold a wooden scepter or flag, and parade through streets or shrines. The purpose is purification and bringing luck for the coming year. For example, at Konomiya Shrine, about 9,000 men gather annually on the Lunar New Year to shoulder heavy straw bundles, talismanic blessed sticks, in a scramble to touch them for good fortune. According to shrine literature, the tradition dates back roughly 250 years as a ritual to ward off plague and pestilence. Similarly, smaller events involve participants running into cold rivers or prancing in frigid weather to pray for health and prosperity. Despite appearing shocking to outsiders, Hadaka Matsuri are treated with solemn respect in Japan. Surviving the ordeal is seen as karmically beneficial, and the festivals continue to draw dedicated participants who consider them important Shinto rites. Falaka, South Korea. Wedding foot-beating tradition. In some rural South Korean weddings, the groom's friends and sometimes the bride's relatives perform a striking initiation called Falaka before the marriage. The groom is bound, often suspended upside down by his ankles, while the revelers whip or beat the bare soles of his feet with a stick, strap, or even a club. During this rough ritual, the bride may implore them to stop, and the groom is sometimes quizzed with riddles to test his worthiness. According to participants, the custom is a way of congratulating the couple and toughening the groom for married life. Historically, it signified community approval. The more people who join the flogging, the more honor is conferred on the couple. After the ceremony, the bride's family provides food and drink to the guests, who often encourage the beating as part of the celebration. Today, Falaka still occurs in some areas as a folkloric pre-marriage ordeal, meant to symbolize the groom's strength and to bestow communal blessings on the union. Blackening of the bride, Scotland, Northern Ireland. Pre-wedding, messing. Before weddings in parts of rural Scotland and Northern Ireland, there is a tradition known as the blackening of the bride and sometimes groom. In this custom, friends and family ambush the bride or groom several days before the wedding and cover them in sticky, dirty substances, often a mixture of tar or black grease, beer, treacle, flour, eggs, or feathers. The couple are then paraded through the town, commonly atop an open truck, to a cacophony of banging pots and pans. The goal is simply to make them as embarrassed and uncomfortable as possible in front of the community. This practice apparently evolved from much older foot-washing rituals on the eve of marriage. By the late 1800s, it had transformed into an outdoor dirtying stunt. Today, blackening is mostly good-humored. After enduring hours of pranks and paint, the bride and groom proceed to cleanse themselves before the ceremony. It's seen as a final test of good-natured endurance and is viewed as an affectionate, if messy, Scottish rite of passage rather than a malicious attack. Wife Carrying Championship Finland. Racing while carrying a spouse. In Finland, there is an annual quirky sport called the Wife Carrying World Championship, held in Sonkajärvi since 1992, where male competitors race along an obstacle course while carrying a female teammate, often his wife, on his back. The prize? The winning man receives the wife's weight in beer. Though organized as a modern sport, it is said to derive from local folklore. One legend speaks of a 19th century bandit named Perukku the Robber, who kidnapped women and carried them home on his shoulders. The competition honors that tale. Men hold their chosen wives, minimum weight 49 kilometers, and navigate hurdles and water pits as fast as possible. While clearly playful today, the event still acknowledges those odd folkloric roots of bride stealing. Each year, dozens of couples and even international participants join the festivities, making it a lighthearted test of strength, speed, and humor. The whimsical contest is now an internationally known Finnish festival, illustrating how an old legend was transformed into a community celebration of marriage and fun. Fore Mortuary cannibalism, Papua New Guinea, funeral feast of the dead. Among the Fore people of Papua New Guinea in the 20th century, funerals often involved endocannibalism, relatives cooking and consuming parts of a deceased loved one. This was not done out of malice, but as a profound act of love and belief. The Fore reasoned that it was better for the body to be eaten by people who cared for the deceased than to decay or be consumed by worms. In practice, women would cut up the body, remove the brain, mixing it with herbs and bamboo tubes, and roast and eat all edible parts except the gallbladder. The act was thought to tame the spirit of the dead inside the living. Children often received morsels from their parents until a certain age. This ritual was deeply entwined with mourning and ancestor veneration. However, it had dire consequences. The Fore developed kuru, a fatal prion disease, through this practice. By the 1960s, scientists linked kuru to the cannibalistic funerary rites. Subsequently, the practice largely ceased due to health interventions. Today, Fore Mortuary cannibalism is remembered as a once sacred custom that tragically exemplifies the intersection of cultural beliefs and disease, and it is no longer performed. Whether it's honoring ancestors with dance, or throwing tomatoes like there's no tomorrow, these customs remind us that culture comes in all shapes, and sometimes with a whole lot of mess. Which one of these traditions shocked or fascinated you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this trip around the world, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a curious friend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.